So welcome to WebProof's online training this afternoon. And I'm James, and I'm joined by Peter as well, who's a panelist there, and Peter's going to be answering some of the more tricky technical questions if we get any. So can everyone hear me okay? Just send me a message on the chat. So that's fantastic. Thanks, Kayla. Really appreciate it. Look, before we delve into WebProof, let's just have a quick look at why we use online proofing. So if we are looking at the world of emailing and emailing PDFs around the place, if we have one document, one correction, how many emails do we think it's going to take? Do we think it's going to take to actually get that correction done? So you've got your initial concept here, just a basic front page. The creative brief comes down, the client tells the sales guy or the project manager to make this beautiful front page. And then that goes to the graphic designer. The designer does as he's told. He sends it to the project manager who looks at it, sends it to the client. And the client says, oh, you forgot that there's got to be a change on this page. So how many emails do we think this is going to take? Do we think it will take 1 to 3 emails, 4 to 8 emails, 9 to 13 emails, 14 to 17 or 18 or more? So I'm just going to launch a quick poll there. If you could all vote now, we'll have a quick look at how email proofing works and how much work it can be. So the poll should be popping up there now. Yeah, that's quite a good spread. That is quite a good spread. I can see that. A couple of people have the right answer, in as much as once you start actually looking at it, it starts to look a little bit like this. So it's a bit of a mess, and what you actually have is 18 emails and 18 different versions or 18 different PDFs flying around the place. So it's all a bit of a mess, really. So this is why it's a great idea to look at online proofing, to look at workflow automation. So this is basically why we do it. And if we take a look at a traditional proofing workflow, so this is a very, it says here advanced, but this is actually quite a simple proofing workflow. You've got the studio, the proofreader, coordinator, marketing, legal, internal approvals, sponsors. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with this sort of workflow where you have multiple people all looking at the same document, and obviously if you have different versions flying around, nobody quite knows where they are and which version is the current version. So with a tool like WebProof, you can see here everything is status code driven. You can see these status codes on the left, and these status codes drive the project forward to its next stage. Can you see my screen, Bettina? Oh, right. Are you just phoning in, or are you at a PC? Oh, right. I am most definitely sharing my screen. Can everyone else see my screen? No, I've got a, yeah, okay. Let's close the poll there. There we go. Okay, is that better now? Okay, great. Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know. So you can see here now that this is our sort of normal workflow, and it says advanced, but it's not that advanced workflow in comparison to some of the workflows I'm sure that we've all seen where we have multiple parties all communicating. So if we take a look at WebProof now, and please do ask any questions. This is all about getting you guys familiar with WebProof, and just so as we have an idea, I'd like to know a bit more about who we actually have here. So I'm just going to launch another quick poll. So which level of WebProof users do we have in the room today? Free, basic, enterprise or above? Or is there anyone here who's not using WebProof at the moment? Okay. I promise I'll remember to close the poll this time. Okay, so that's a good cross section. That's a good cross section. Okay, great. Okay, so if we start looking at just basic web proofing, I'm sure we're all familiar. Well, if we start at the beginning, I mean, does everyone know how to create a project in WebProof? Okay, well, let's start there. So you have here a basic document tree, like any document tree. This is our demo site. So there's it's quite heavily populated, as you can see. So you can create a folder, right click, new group. We'll create a new project group. So if we call this webinar group, and that's going to appear down here. There it is. So once we're in there, we can go. We can again right click, and we can go new project. So if we give our project a name, call it test, and we're going to choose how many pages it is. So we can just go. Let's say it's an 8-page brochure. So in here we go 1-8. And there we are. So when we right click now on our test project, it brings up 8 thumbnails. All we simply do is click at the end, hold down the shift button and click at the other end, and then we can right click and we can go in and we can upload our PDF. We give it a status. So in the basic version, you have 3 status codes, which are new proof, correction, and approved. So we'll call this new proof, and then we can choose our file, choose our PDF, and we can go ahead and upload that. So once it's uploaded, it will then start to look a bit like this. So here's one I made earlier for the sake of argument, rather than waiting for it to upload. So also what we want to do, we want to control who can actually see this project. So we want to share this with somebody, of course. There's no point in us just doing it for ourselves. We want to sort of get other people's input on this. So we go into settings, and right click at the top, or just left click at the top here, so we can go into projects, settings, or archive. So in here, users, we can add a new group of users, or we can add a new user in any of these groups. So if I go into, say, Webflow demo, and I can just go new user. In here, I enter their name. I give them a username. Choose a password for them. Give them an email. I can enter their phone number. So if you are basic and above, they actually get SMS text messages. And I can choose a role as well. So internal user, I can create roles as well, which we'll come on to. So just for the sake of argument, we'll call them an internal user. And I would then go ahead and I'd email Mr. Test, and I would say, here are your credentials. This is your username, this is your password, and up here is the domain. So this is where you're going to go ahead and log in. Is everyone with me so far? Again, if you have any questions, please do let me know. Okie dokie. So once test has been created, so test is, I'm going to email test myself. I'm going to email him his username, his password, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go back to my projects, and I can see that the webinar group here that we've created, I've got permissions. So I want to make sure that Mr. Test, can actually see this project. So I can go in here. I never actually created Test, but I can go into, say, if I find Test there, I can either detach him or attach him to this project. So again, that's done by right clicking. So here's my boss, Jan Adeltoft. If I don't want Jan to see this, I can just detach him from this project. He can no longer see this. I can then right click and attach him back to this project. So this is permissions in the webinar group. So again, that's done by right clicking on the project group, and you can go to permissions. So you can decide who sees this and when they see it. So is everyone with me now on how to create a new user and how to assign permissions? Okay. Mariana, did you have any questions at all? Anything I can help with? Chauvel, welcome. Okay, good. So, so what we have now, so we've got our project, we've uploaded it. So this is what the designer's come up with, and I'm the guy proofing it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here and take a look at this page, and I can choose whether to see one page or two. So I can right click on here, go to settings, and just see the one page if I want to. Make it nice and simple. Okay, so here's our page here, and it's a very nice design page, but these headlines here, we don't like them in red. We want to see them in blue. So all we simply do is create a sticky note up here, make this headline blue. Okay. And of course it applies to this and to this. So all we need to do is to click here and click here again, and we get more things on a rope, for want of a better word, that we can attach to these headlines. So again, that makes it nice and easy. Put that into correction status, and our comments have been saved. That's good. And so we close that now, and we know that that is now in correction status. So what we also want to know is how this page has, let's look at the history of this page. What's happened to this page before it's come to me? So I can go in and take a look at the compare function. Again, I can go back in now and look at settings and go back to 2 pages. So what's happened is that different PDFs, 2 or more PDFs, have been uploaded on top of each other. So if I turn on the compare function here, I want to see what's happened. So, so somebody here said, make this image bigger, enlarge image more, this watch. And yes, they've done it. I can see that because it's highlighted yellow, WebProof has tracked the pixel changes. And so it's made it easy for me to see the changes. What other changes have happened here? So we can see that this moved the image 1.5 inches to the left. So we can see that that's been done. And also we can see here that something has happened here. I think that's changed from a comma to a full stop, or vice versa. So because WebProof tracks the pixel changes, it makes it easy for us to see the different changes, the different versions. We can see the whole history of that page, and so it makes it nice and easy for us to see that. And so when the designer's made the latest change, he can then upload that PDF on top of this existing one, and we'll be able to go through the different versions and see exactly what's happened to this page. Does anybody have any more questions at this point? Okay, good. So if we move on, so also what else can we do? Let's look at text highlighting. So we can enable our highlighting tool, and what we have here is one of the world's best timepieces. You can see it's opened up in a red post-it note here. Just so as we know we're working on this one, let's make this yellow. So differentiates it. So that, again, that's one of the great things about WebProof. You can change the color of the post-it notes here, which means that you can identify perhaps which changes have been done. Maybe different users can have different color post-it notes, so you can see who's suggesting what at any given time. So one of the world's best timepieces, we want to change that to one of the world's best watches. So I've just typed that there, and now the designer is in no doubt that exactly what I wanted. So Bettina, how did we change the color? You can see here next to the save all, there's a little thing here with some paintbrushes. So you can just click that and you can change the color of the different things. Again, that makes it very easy. Oh yes, this is good. So what else can we do? We can upload a file. So let's say I want to, with this image here, with the chap sewing the leather, I decide I don't like that picture. So let's upload a different file. So we can go ahead and choose a different picture, a different JPEG, and we can just, using this paperclip, we can just attach that to the WebProof, and then that image goes straight to the designer, and he knows exactly which image to use. So again, it saves emailing images around the place, because WebProof can do everything for you. Does anyone have any queries at this stage? Okay. So this is basically, that is basic web proofing. So we've shown how to create a project, how to comment on a project, how to create users and assign them to that project, and how to control permissions of who sees what project. So on those subjects, before we sort of move on into sort of slightly more complicated things, does anybody have any queries at all? Are you able to chat, Cheryl? I think I wanted to make sure that everyone is unmuted so you can type comments.
Yes, I can chat.
Okay, hey Chevelle, did you have any queries at all?
Not at this point, no. I'm simply taking it all in. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so if we move on now, so this is, like I say, this is basic web proofing. What we always have down here is our navigator bar. Okay, with our navigator bar, it will always bring up this box in the center where we have all of our jobs. We have our document tree. Like I say, this is quite an extensive document tree. I'm going to show you another area in WebProof now, because there is something else I wanted to show you that's quite cool. So have any of you ventured into creating 3D page flips yet? And this is something you all have in your WebProof if you're using WebProof. So what you can do, you can right click on any project and you can go 3D publish. This will publish it to a 3D workspace. Now at the moment the basic ones are still Flash based, but it's moving over to HTML5. So what this does, this is, again, it's code that you can embed into your company's website. And what you have here is a very beautiful published magazine. And again, this is included in all of your web proofs, and it's something that you can all do. Is anybody using this feature at the moment?
I have not, but it is awesome.
Okay, and again, I'm going to show you a bit more about that now as well. So what you have up here, you have a 3D Publish admin. So if we go in there, and this will give you the code where you can embed this into your website. Okay, so my publications, I can see here, there's the one that we were looking at, the little UK catalogue. . 'Catalogue. . 'Catalogue. 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 And again, so you can just double click on that. And you can go ahead and get the link there that you can embed into your website. And there's quite a few things you can do. You can actually embed, video, you can embed sound as well into your magazine. And again, if anybody wants to sort of delve more into that, I'll be very happy to demonstrate some of the features. But just to give you an idea of what you can do, here's one we did for the Danish Cricket Authority. And you'll see, hopefully you'll see some video come up. So you can see again, it's just a normal magazine, but this actually has embedded video inside as well. And like I say, this is something you can publish to your website once you have the proofing side of it complete. Just right click on your project and go to 3D publish, and it will go ahead and do that for you. And you always have support as well with WebProof, so you always have chat here. So if you are stuck at any point using WebProof, you can always just, that's Peter there and that's myself, you can always just ask us, and we're pretty much online 24/7. They keep us chained to our desks, so we don't get out much. So we are here to help if anything we can do. Okay, so what else can WebProof do? I'm going to hand over to Peter now to talk more about the automation side of it. So let me see if I can go ahead and make Peter presenter. I'll be taking over questions. If anybody asks any questions on chat, I'm here to answer. But I'm going to make I'll make Peter presenter now, just for the moment.
Hello, James, and thanks for inviting me.
Hey, Peter. Can you still hear me, by the way?
Yes, I can. No problems.
Good.
Yeah. So thanks for the presentation, and actually, I'm using our own web page to demonstrate some of the features for you, because by that I also want to draw your attention to the website, where you can actually find a lot of you can say answers to some of your questions. So if you go to the front page of WebProof, and if you haven't signed up yet, I can just show you that it's very easy to sign up. Just go to the top of the front page and then sign in your name and email address, and then you're good to go. You will receive a mail shortly, and then you can start using WebProof right away. But on the front page, you also have some a lot of text, blah 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 text, and if you go to the features section, I think this is a good section, because you can go and click on many of the features here and see some of the things that James showed you there, and hopefully you can get a good overview of what WebProof can do. And we have a lot of interesting features depending on what version you choose for WebProof. Of course, the free version have you can say is the simple version. It's made to make sure you are ready to go in a very few minutes, and in the bigger versions you have the option to customize. So let me show you. So the free and the basic flow, you can say, is about, hope you all can see my screen. I can try and maybe enlarge it a little bit here. Hope it helps. So the basic flow is very, and the free flow is very simple. So as James showed you, you upload to WebProof. The client get a notification. The client could also be an internal proofreader. And so as James showed you, the client will just add some comment now to the job and choose correction or approved. Now a notification will be sent back to you, and then you can loop, you can say a new version that you upload on top of the old one. Then you use the 2-page mode to compare the corrections, and if everything is okay, then the user click approved, and then you're done. And for example, ready to send your PDF to printer or whatever you need to do, or maybe use the page flip for publishing online. So this is the free and the basic. So in the customized version, sorry, the enterprise version, you have the ability to customize. So it means that you can set up a routing flow that simply suits your needs. So if you need to involve different kind of people that have different kind of roles, then you can lock the flow for some users, while others have rights to go in and make comments. So at different stages of your flow, some people can make changes and change the status codes, and others can preview only. So it means that you can make some people, you can say project managers, they have the extra rights to change the status code, and you can say filter others' comments. And you could also, of course, make a routing flow where you need one department to clear the comments. Sorry for that. I will just then you have other departments who will check up later. So besides doing this, you can also customize a lot of other stuff, like special notifications. So you can make sure that one group of people receive notifications and others will not. And you can also change the view of your job. You can say changing it to different kind of sections. Let me try and show you in the demo. So here we have a view, a thumbnails view, where sorry, I was kicked out here. So I'm just enlarging the thumbnails. So here we have a simple view where you have front page for itself, and also the back page, and then the content shown as spreads, you can say. So you can also you can, for example, in this project here, we have divided the project into different sections. So here we have chosen to make an info page, you can say. So this gives you the opportunity to for example, upload a brief for the project. It could be some guidelines, color guides, whatever you need for this project. Just it could be text, something that the user can download if they want to, and then we have divided, made a section for the cover and a section for the content. So this might be relevant, for example, if you are working on a catalog.
Peter,
yeah.
Can you go ahead and show how to add an Express user? I think I missed that.
Okay. So it's actually very simple. So you simply just choose the pages that you want to share with a temporary user. So I'm going to choose here page 1 and 24. Right click, add Express user. And then you can just write a name like Peter and add my email address. And then you can choose how many days this, you can say, session should be valid. And you can write a message.
And you can also enter the phone number for a text message. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So and then you, I will in a minute or two, I will receive a notification with a link to only page 1 and 24, and then I have one shot where I can put in comments, change the status code, and then I'm kicked out of that session. Now you have the option to invite a new user. So for example, in the free version and in the basic version, you have 4 Express users, we call it. So it means that these 4 users come back to you every time you have invited the user and the user has put in comments. They are kicked out of the session, and then you get the session back to you, so you can invite 4 new temporary users. So yeah, James?
I was going to say, does anyone have any questions about what we've covered so far, adding Express users, anything like that, anything we can answer? Okay, great. Okay.
Actually, I can't see the questions here, so James, just if you are in control of the questions panel, then
yep, I got it.
Come back. Yeah, okay, perfect. And you just hit me with the questions.
Okay.
So besides the Express user, and James also showed you the page flip, you have a good overview in WebProof. In the navigator, you have a very simple structure. It's just a tree structure as you have on your desktop. And remember that when you have used permissions, you can control what folders the users can see. So it means if you are a small agency, of course you can control that client 1 can only see their folder structure, and client 2 can only see their folder structure. You have another option here. So if I click on the tab here called Group Overview, you can see, for example, this is the overview of this structure that I have chosen here. So you get an overview of all the different jobs. You can see all the different status codes you have in the job. So you get a very quick overview of many projects at once. And it will actually update, it will refresh the overview every 1 minute. So if I go and click on this folder here, for example, and click Group Overview, now you see only the overview of this folder. So it's very simple. What is relevant for you to go and see? It could be, for example, let me go back to this group and choose Group Overview. If I was the designer or the project manager, I think I would be interested in all the changes here on this annual report. So I actually just go and click on the changes status, and now it will filter all the pages with the changes only in this project. So let me go back to this project here I had before.
Peter, we have a question here.
Yeah.
Kayla wants to know how are users alerted to changes to the proofs? So are emails sent daily or when changes are made? Kayla says she gets a lot of emails about changes in Adobe, and she's wondering if there's going to be fewer emails. And Chevelle wants to know if this webinar is going to be recorded. Yes, it will. It will be recorded and shared with everyone. So there is a lot of information. You're right. I think I can answer Kayla. Kayla, in the free version, emails are sent out, I think, every hour. Is that right, Peter?
Actually, in the free version, the notifications are set up to send out every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
In the basic and enterprise and above versions, they go out instantly. So if a change is made on a project, you can also add your phone number in the higher versions. You will get an SMS text message when a comment is added or a change is made, and an email as well. So does that answer your question, Kayla? Okay, great. So I mean, what you do see is that in the free versions, if changes are made to say 3 pages, you're not going to get 3 emails. You just get the one summarizing everything. That's what we generally see. That's
right.
Okay.
Actually, here on my screen, if you recall, I invited myself as a Express user. You can see here on my screen that I got an email from WebProof. So this is how an email for an Express user looks like, and it is also how a notification looks like if you was automatically invited to proof on a project. So it's very simple. Now, as an Express user, I just click to go to the project. I am logged into the project, and now this time as an Express user, I get some help what to do. I can just close this, put in a sticky note, I can add some comments, attach a file, whatever I want to attach, like this. Now you can see on the clip that I attach something, and then I change the status to correction. And now you can see that I am kicked out of this page. And then because I included 2 pages, I can also go to the next page, and I don't have any comments for this page. I will approve it, and now it says you don't have access anymore, and I'm kicked out of the session, and then I'm returning to the WebProof menu. Of course, the login menu. Of course, I don't have, as a temporary user, I don't have a login for WebProof, so I will just leave this and yes, go back to my office.
Peter,
so
I was going to say I actually didn't show one of the greatest things about WebProof, which is the accountability, where you can print a PDF of all the changes, all the comments. Can you demonstrate that for us, please?
Let me try. So I go back into WebProof. Now I just opened another WebProof system, because we have so many systems to play with in WebProof. We have so much fun. So if I let me see, do I have a lot of comments in this project? Let me find another one. Makes it more relevant here. So I choose this project, and so let me see. I want to print out print 2 and 3. Sorry, page 2 and 3. and then I click on the print icon, click OK. And now you can see a print with your stickers listed. On this page, you can see that it is only there was only one comment, but if you have many comments on the page, they would be listed below. Let me try and see if I can find another page.
The great thing about this is accountability. So if something goes to press or goes to print and someone says, hey, who made this red or who made this picture bigger? You can actually go in and look at the history of that page, and you can see exactly who suggested what and when. And so it gives great accountability to know who's making suggestions, who's making changes. WebProof basically logs everything, so everything is recorded.
Yeah. So you can see here who was the user who made the comment, and you have a timestamp. You can see what was the project called, date, stuff like that. Besides that, we also have a log function. So if you go to the summary here and you choose what period of time you want to log, hit this button. Now you can see a log with every changes that was made on this catalog. You get all the info about what kind of action that was made. So here it was a status change. Down here it was a comment. And at some point where you have you can see here a small arrow, it was because a user uploaded a page, and you can see when, what pages, and who did it. So yeah, so you get all the history in WebProof. And of course, when you open a page, not this one, but maybe this one, you can see here on the top of the page, it's called front page in this project here, and you can see the number here. Number 2 is actually version 2 of the front page and version 1 of the front page. So that makes it very easy for you to compare the pages and see where was it's always the newest page on the left side. So yeah.
I was going to say, Peter, do you have the Indesign plugin that you can demonstrate? Because I'm not sure I have access to that. That would be a really good topic as well. Does everyone use Indesign here? Just type yes if you use Indesign. Oh, okay. We've got a couple of people, one saying yes, one saying no. Yeah, because okay. Yeah, the Indesign plugin is one of WebProof's greatest features. It means that you don't have to spend time generating PDFs and then uploading them. You can upload direct from Indesign. There's a plugin. Can I ask Bettina, what do you use? Is it Illustrator? Okay. Do we have an Illustrator plugin as well, Peter?
Yes, we do.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yes. So actually, I was not. I just need to prepare the plugin if I need to.
Okay.
If I need to demonstrate anything here, just a second.
No worries. Did anybody have any other questions about anything at all? Just while we're waiting for Peter to prepare that. What other plugins are available in the entire Adobe suite? Fantastic. Photoshop. I'm not sure. Do we have a Photoshop plugin?
No, sorry.
No, we don't. No.
So here you can see I have opened a document. So so I want to make a change on a page here. So I will just put in a big red box or something. Something very nice here. yeah, that looks fine. And then I choose, let me choose the project that you saw before. I will go, and you can see here in WebProof, in InDesign, the only change is that you get the panel here. This panel is the same as the panel that you had in your WebProof. So if I compare here, you can see now that you have the same folder structure. So if I go to magazines 2009, I just choose magazine number 1. I click upload. It asks if I want to save. I say yes. But I only made a change to page 2. So now I will just tell only to upload page 2. And I can choose what PDF preset I want to upload, what status code. I will choose new proof and click send. So now you can see how easy it goes. I will go to my catalog here.
Hi,
and then
I was just going to answer Chauvel's question there. The plugins are available in all versions, even the free version. Isn't that right, Peter?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So now I just click refresh here, and you can see now that the page is uploaded. You have a big red square here on my newest page.
That's a beautiful piece of
yeah, I think that's really.
You're very talented.
I think so too. Maybe I should change career here right away. Maybe there's someone out there that would hire me right now. I'm looking forward to your email. Yes. So this is how easy it is to use the plugins. So I don't know, James. Do you want me to tell just a little bit about automation in WebProof?
Yeah, let's touch on some automation. I mean, before we move on from the basic web proofing that we look at. Chauvel said it would be awesome if it automatically created a 3D from within the InDesign plugin to send the mock-up to the clients. Yeah, so once Peter's put his red box there, he would then have to go back to the navigator and create the 3D. So you can see him doing that now, going to 3D publish, and then it will create the 3D again. You would have to hit republish, I think, to get the red dot.
Okay. So I already have the 3D, but it is without. And you can see here I've made a lot of changes to the page flip. Nice background.
Yeah, it's quite psychedelic.
But you can see this is the old page that I used. So if I want to update the changes, I just choose republish, like this one.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that now because this is just like what do you call it, James? TV kitchen, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's one I put in. Here's one I put in the oven earlier.
Yeah. You don't want to do all the eggs, let's just. But this is how it's done. It's very easy.
Yeah.
So, do you have other questions?
Yeah, I mean, this is the basic side of WebProof. WebProof is very, very powerful under the hood. So we're going to sort of delve into a bit of the automation side where we can create a document workflow and see how that moves now very smoothly from one person to the next or sideways. You can send documents wherever you want, anywhere in the world, of course. And one of the great things is that even though you might be sending a PDF that's 120 megabytes, WebProof converts it into small, manageable size JPEGs, which means that your client, even if he's sitting, okay, Bettina, thanks for coming, and I'll make sure you get a link to the rest of it as well. So even if your client's sitting on a beach in Barbados, with a limited bandwidth, they can still use WebProof because they're only downloading relatively small-sized JPEGs or PDFs. So WebProof converts everything into a manageable-sized document. So again, Peter's going to sort of delve into the automation a little bit for us now.
Okay, James. Actually, I want to prepare something very interesting for you here.
Okay, great.
So actually, yeah, let me go through to the automation part. And today we have been talking for almost an hour now, so I will not be very specific, but let me just touch it a little bit. So in this, you can say, illustration here, we have shown you only what is available in the WebProof cloud. So we also have a Webflow file server, we call it. The smart thing about that is that it can automate your file flow, you can say. It means it can integrate to any kind of system, and it can output to any kind of system. In between that, we can fetch your files. It is a hot folder driven automation flow. It can convert your files, it can pre-write your files, it can rename it, it can change the files, it can do a lot of stuff. The smart thing about this is that it communicates with WebProof in the cloud. So it means that if you put in some files in one end of this flow, it will automatically maybe convert the files, it will change them, and then it can upload them into WebProof automatically. It will automatically create a project in WebProof, and you will automatically get a notification once it's done. And in WebProof, you can say remote control the file server. An example is that you can change the status code, and the status code will actually trigger an action on the file server. So in this case, you can, for example, convert a PDF to something else. You can outsource your job, meaning it will make a package of the job and send it to a specific location externally, and you can choose the status send to print. It will download your files, your high-res PDF files, convert them to offset or convert them to a specific PDF preset, and maybe send it out to the printer. So if you have any kind of, you can say, routine that you do that doesn't, you can say, add value to your production, you can say with this setup here, we are aiming to you can say simply just lean your setup. If you have a lot of routines that you do that they simply, you can say, if you look at it, they are waste of time in the sense that you do a lot of redundant tasks that doesn't add a value to the real you can say a job that you are doing. Then we can try and see if we can automate it. I have just one thing I can show you that you can do with this automation feature. We actually have something that is called direct InDesign corrections, we call them. A nice short word for a feature. It means that you get an extra function in WebProof. So it means that the proofer or the client can just access this function via your WebProof browser, and then you choose Enable InDesign Correction. You get these boxes around all the text boxes. It means that now the user can see, okay, what text boxes can I choose? Mm-hmm. They open a text box, and then I can change a name in this box, sorry, a word, I mean, choose render correction. And right away, you can see the actual change in WebProof.
And that's gone to the InDesign server, is that right?
Not yet, because you can go back and then you can say I want to make other changes. That was not right. Like this in Denmark, England. That's great.
Yes, indeed.
And then you see now the update the changes again. You can see now that this word changed. And if you are satisfied, you just click save. Now it will actually go communicate with our server, our Webflow server, and it will update the changes in the actual document, and it will upload a new version of a PDF, all automatically, no designers involved.
So what that means is even someone who's, like you say, who's not a designer, if he needs just to make a text change on a document, an important document or whatever, he can go ahead and do that, and then that's going to then transmit to the server, and the designer is going to get a notification. The designer is going to know that the change has been made, and
if you choose to set up your workflow like that.
Yeah.
Of course, when the user is done, it will just change the status code. The designer will get a notification, and then they can see that someone made a text change. Maybe they need to check if there was you can say overflow in the text. We can actually also add a alert that will come up and say there's overflow in the text because this user added too much text. So we have taken care of everything in this function, and the idea is, of course, that you can save a lot of time on your designer's desktop, giving the right people permissions to change the text. For example, the buyer who has the information about the latest price changes on some items, and why not let him do the price changes instead of having a proofing flow where you go back and forth between designer and the buyer, for example. So, yeah, and you can do a lot of great other things with this flow. You can actually automate. A catalog. We have a function called catalog builder, so that it can actually build your catalog automatically. We have a pre-flight function that means that every time you upload something, it will pre-flight your document every time and check it with, as you can say, a checklist that you have created. This makes it very, you can say, simple for the designer to work on a project. You don't have to educate the designers, or maybe a freelance designer who was invited into the setup to know what kind of things they need to check up on. You just let the automation do this. So okay, but I guess that was a lot about automation. So
I think we've covered a lot there, and at the risk of going into information overload, you know, we can start drawing things to a sort of a natural close, I suppose. I mean, Kayla, Mariana, Chevelle, do you have any more questions? Anything we haven't covered that you'd like to know more about? Okay, I'm just going to launch another poll here. Just the last poll is: anybody, are you interested in finding out more about the enterprise and the workflow automation side? Or would you like more than 4 users that you have at the moment if you're a free user?
James, I actually think I should make you the presenter here.
Okay.
So I will.
If you want to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. So look, thanks for answering the poll there, and I'll send out an email offering a personal demo, and we can answer any more questions that you might have at this stage. I mean, we are here to help, and it's all about streamlining processes and just saving time, saving money, and making your production lean and efficient. Yes, we do have a blog, and I'll send that on to you, Chevelle. And again, if you just keep an eye on webproof.com, I think you have signed up. I think I do remember seeing your name. If you want any help at any stage, you'll have a personal email from me by the end of the day. So do feel free to email me directly if you'd like to set up a meeting, a one-on-one chat where we can sort of go through and fine-tune some of the features for you. Make sure you're getting the most out of WebProof. So at this stage, again, if anyone has any more questions, we're here to help. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Chevelle. That's a really nice comment. Thank you so much. And so I suppose that draws things neatly to a close. So just to say thank you for coming, everyone. Really do appreciate it. And we are here to help. And so I suppose we'll sign off. Peter?
Hello, James.
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
I was just muting myself here. So yes, I will also like to say thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for now. And yes, as James told you, just come back to us, email us if you have any questions, and we can have another online demo with you, where we go through something specific that you like us to show you.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close the webinar now. Kayla, Mariana, Chevelle, thank you again so much for coming, and have a wonderful day, everyone, and happy web proofing. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, Mariana. Take care. Bye. Bye for now.